Well, hello there and welcome to the channel, and in particular I want to welcome my American audience,
Say, can you see?
who make up 45% of the viewing figures. So well done you. Anyway, to continue, in this video we're going to be looking at the pests and disease warnings for July, and the more you know about it, the more you can identify, the more you know how to treat it, the better your plants are going to look, and save you a little bit of heartache on the way. So let's get started. It never ends, this one. Right, now before I start, apologies to the sound quality because I have literally got about 30 light aeroplanes circling around the garden, and it's an in out noise, and flipping it's getting annoying. So we're going to put up with it because there's nothing else I can do. I can't swat them out of the sky like King Kong does. So first one, slugs and snails. I don't want to go into too much detail with slugs and snails because I've repeated myself endlessly all this year, but you got slugs and snails, you need to manage them. You can use slug pellets, but they're not particularly good. Some are a bit better than others, but they're not as good as the old one, which had a metaldehyde in them, which of course is incredibly toxic, so they really should be banned, which they are in the UK. Try other management techniques, the ones that work, because there's plenty that people talk about which are absolutely hopeless, but the ones that do work are beer traps. That is only periodically. You better get away with using for a few weeks, and then you've already disposed of the slugs and snails that are attracted to it, and then the other ones that are still there, if they haven't already been taken by the trap, they're not going to be, so they'll still be in your plants. So run them for like a week or so, then rest them for a couple of weeks and start again. Of course, the most effective method is your torch, a bag, something to dispose of your slugs, and go out at night and pick them off like the little monkeys they are. So slugs and snails, it's going to be an issue pretty much throughout the year, and we won't talk about that one anymore today. So the first thing I want to look at is on this citrus tree, and you see this folded over leaf here. Well, inside that, if I can open it up with one hand, is the tortrix caterpillar, otherwise known as the folding leaf caterpillar. If I can just get that open with my one hand, you can just see it in there. Look at that little lovely there. Now usually if they're disturbed, they'll drop on a length of silk, although this one's seems to be a bit too lazy to do that, but on the whole we don't want those hanging around. In small numbers, these caterpillars don't really cause a lot of harm, and if that's the case, then I wouldn't worry about it too much. I mean, on that lemon plant where I found that one, there's only a couple on there. I'm not too worried about it. Not going to spray it. If you have larger numbers of these caterpillars, then you can consider spraying with a general purpose insecticide, though be aware there can be some resistance to caterpillars with some of these products. Alternatively, especially if you have quite a major infestation, and that can happen, then there's a big risk of actually a plant being defoliated from these caterpillars. Then probably your best option is to use like a natural product, like Bacillus thuringiensis, which you can find in a product called Xanthari. Problem with that is that there's no license for a Xanthari to be used as an insecticide in the UK, so it's not something we can use. So if you do have a big problem with caterpillars, your options are pretty much limited to spraying it with a chemical that may or may not work, or just looking at it. Yeah, you could, if you've got time in your hands, pick them all off, but that's it with caterpillars. There's not much else I can really advise on that. Now, the other caterpillar we've been having a big problem with in the UK is the box caterpillar, moth caterpillar, and come the early spring we did have a bit of a problem with it on here, and we managed to pick them all off, and since then we've had nothing. And you can see here all this new growth has come through, and there's no damage on that whatsoever. So I don't know what the hell's happened to the box caterpillar, moth caterpillar here. But I have already had people coming back to me saying, oh no, we've still got loads of it and it's a big problem. But that problem is also the same as this problem. How do you get rid of it? Picking off, and there isn't an insecticide spray that you can actually use to clear these. So you're back to looking at the Bacillus thuringiensis, which doesn't have a license in this country. So if you're in another country and you do have a license for it, then be my guest, you can use that on your box caterpillar moth. Oh, this is a good one. This is leaf miner. And you can recognise leaf miner because it has these squiggly lines. They start off thin and they get fatter and fatter and fatter as the insect that's eating them gets bigger. Now, this big range of leaf miner larvae, they can be moth larvae, they could be fly larvae, they could be beetle larvae. But the problem is, because they're inside the leaves, they're protected really from systemic insecticides. So it's very, very hard to actually treat these. Aeroplanes. There is one product that you can use, or one chemical that you can use, called spinosad. Now that will treat some leaf miner and not all. So the issue is it really worth spraying for it? Best bet really, as soon as you start to see this happening, pick off the leaf, throw it in a bin. And if you look carefully, I think there are 3 adults there. That's the most obvious one, and there's I think another one there and another one up there. But yeah, I do think they're quite sweet. But you know, you get a lot of this and it becomes a problem. So pick it when you see it, dispose, destroy. The scarlet lily beetle is still one to keep an eye out on, not just your lilies, but lily related plants such as Alstroemeria and Hemeroculus, which is your day lily. Quite simple to deal with. If you see the adults, just pick them off and destroy. And if you see the larvae, you could pick those off, but don't forget they are covered in their own feces, which is very attractive. But they do respond well to a insecticide, whether organic or inorganic. So you can choose, but you do need to keep an eye out for it. At least they're extremely bright and easy to find. But you know, if you've got a big infestation, then maybe you want to spray it with something. I'll let you choose what. Sorry, did I hear you say a vine weevil? But you know what, I've not seen a lot of vine weevil recently. Certainly haven't seen any adults, although I did find one on my own front door. I don't know what it's doing on there. But I am still seeing the effects of the adults, which means there will be vine weevil grubs in the ground having a lovely munch away on the roots of your plants. And you'll only find out that they're there when your plant falls over. So you can treat for it. You could try a general purpose insecticide when you see the irregular notchings on the outside of a leaf, because then you definitely know they're about, and you can just spray that, and hopefully once that insecticide is throughout the plant, then the grubs in the root system will also eat that and die. Now, there used to be a product from Provado called imidacloprid, or it's called vine weevil killer, but the active ingredient is imidacloprid, and that's actually quite a dangerous, worrying product to use, which is why it's been banned here in the UK, because it will go into the soil, it will control all your soil pests, but the trouble is it remains active in there for, I believe, up to about 3 months, which is good on one hand. But if these are flowering plants and you have them outside in the garden, then the active ingredient will be in the pollen, it will be in the nectar, and any beneficial pollinating insects will ingest that toxin and die. It is incredibly long lasting and incredibly indiscriminate. So I believe they have made some formula changes. It doesn't last as long as it used to in the soil, so it is possible to buy it, but really buy with care. You do not want that active ingredient present in the soil when the plants are in flower. That's an absolute no-no. Now, at the risk of repeating myself, this one is another constant one for your monthly pest warnings. Is your roses. Yes, they get aphids, yes they get rust, they get mildew, they get black spot, but luckily there is a product, Rose Clear, that you get in the UK, and every aeroplanes. It's a very good product and it deals with all 4 of those issues. So rose issues, Rose Clear. Now in the UK we're very familiar with the gorgeous golden weeping willow, the Scarlet chrysocoma, and usually these look absolutely spot on beautiful minted, but recently I've seen a rather worrying change in their condition. Take a look at this little clip of a plant that I've seen recently around here, and you'll see that there is some significant damage that I haven't seen before. Now, according to my research, this looks like a black scab and canker, which is rather worrying, because that is going to race through the populations of willow in the UK, because it's not something that we're particularly familiar with thing. Now, it can take some treatment. It can be treated with a well-timed application of fungicide. You can improve its condition by giving it a good fertilizing. I mean, how are you going to do that on a big tree? But really, if you've got a big tree, then the base of the tree should be clear of any plants or turf. So you could actually put down a winter mulch of blended farmyard manure, or just put down liquid feeds of Miracle Grow. They are more at risk in periods of drought because they do like to be kept quite moist. But it's worrying indeed, and certainly not one that I'm familiar with. So we'll leave it there on that worrying note. And if you've got anything to add, any great advice, particularly with regard to the willow tree, then let us know in the comments section. We would really like to hear from you about that one. Anyway, thanks for watching, and good luck treating your pests and diseases. We'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. That's how you do it. Right, now, just before you go, if you want to see more content, more behind the scenes stuff, and images that I've taken of some weird freaky plants over the years, then you're in luck, because we've created an Instagram page. So you can find the link in our description. You can find the link on our main page, and if I'm clever enough, I might be able to get a link somewhere up there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to see more YouTube stuff, then check out this video here. That's quite a good one. And if it doesn't float your boat, then another one right there. And enjoy these while still got the strength, imagination and aptitude to make them. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.